Hello everyone. This is the continuation video of our previous project. Uh, Creating a custom workflow for the form HCM position page. Uh, if you're landing in this video, you have to refer back to the previous part of videos in order to understand like the exercise what we have made so far. So now we are in the stage of creating a code, working with the code. Okay, so let me open the studio and I'll show you the solution explorer. Here, so far we have done in project 3. Here we need to add the code. Okay, so now in the code, there is a three things are we have to call. Usually, when if you're familiar with the C++, C Sharp, it's moreover the similar syntax for X++ coding. If you're a beginner, you must refer some of the tutorial to know how to create a syntax and how to write the code. More of that, it's all like creativity, like how you can code yourself. Let's begin with this three methods today. One is like count submit to workflow. This it means like we are telling the form in any form. We are telling that this is like eligible uh, to have the submit to workflow form workflow. So you have to call the standard method. This is a standard method. And next one is the update workflow status. So we are enabling that we are putting conditions that if it is like the rec id and workflow status field, if both is like rec id is there created and the status will be also created, then the workflow status will update. Okay, and then int value method will call the sequence. Okay, the sequence like it will call the if it is created, then it will go to approval process. uh, okay, and then like change request, and then maybe you can say approved, completed. So the int value method is a standard method also. It will go on next based on the actions. Okay, we will see that one in the video how we can code this. Apart from this, we have many more coding method also. We need to have it in the session. Let's begin. So for that, first you need to create a class. Select the project and click add and click new item, and then go to the Dynamics 365 code and click class as usual. First rename it. I will rename it as a MB position table extension. Okay, click add. Then you will find out that the class has been created here. Under the classes, MB position table extension has been created. Now, it's by default it's mentioned internal final class MB position extension, right? The thing is we have not created our table. We have been created an extension from the previous table called HCM position. So it's a kind of extension. So we need to if you are referring the previous table and you including that table in your project, then you have to must to include this code extension. You have to mention that this is the extension of which table. Extension. Okay, extension of which table. It's a variable table. HCM position. It's a bit slow my PC. HCM position. table. Yes, click and close bracket. Now we can delete this internal. Delete the internal. Here we go. Got it. Try to save it. Now, okay, what is the error? Okay, there is a spelling mistake of extension. We'll save it again. Bingo, it's gone. Okay, now we have to call the standard method as we discussed earlier. Okay, define it, public. Then it's a kind of a data type boolean, can submit to workflow method. I'm not sure that why it's today slow. Flow, then call the string, and I will define as a workflow variable inside the method, standard method. Okay, so we define the standard method, and we mention inside the method the data type and the variable. Okay, so now we have to make open parenthesis and the boolean. What is a boolean will return, like kind of true or false, or condition based. If it is true, then execute, return this value. If it is not true, return this value. Okay, because can submit to workflow method will call, uh, will validate the, if it is the record ID is uh, not there, or if it is there, then we have to check if it is status also, workflow status also created. Then it will call the HTML, and it will call from the HTML position table. Okay, so the boolean, we can say return or it. So variable equal to next, can submit to workflow. Okay, underscore, we're calling the next method workflow type, then close. So as I mentioned that this code will call the parent method. The parent is the, it's here, to call the parent method. Okay, if you want you can just mention this parent method. Okay, now we again rate equal to, now the condition. What is the condition? We need to compare the record in the field. So what is a field name? Like what you can say that we indexing that value. We mentioned this to call. So this means we are referring to the table. It's a rec ID. That's a field not equal to 0, and condition this MB position status workflow status, okay, equal to created. So MB position workflow status equal to MB position workflow status created, right? Close the line. So like this line will return the true. Okay, this code returns the true condition. Like if the current record in the HTML table, the status is created. Okay, then it will this code will return the value true. So again, we'll close this code, return. Always organize your code on proper, properly. Return the red. Okay, sorry, red. Okay, save all. What is this error? Okay, close parenthesis. Okay, now it's okay, fine. What was that big error? This can be what was this error? What saying that not all paths return a value in return. So having the problem in the return. Okay, spelling mistake. I'm not sure that while typing it's becomes slow. Okay, now there is no issue on this code. Okay, we'll continue. Then we'll add the next method, like update the workflow status. Okay, right? We'll type enter and have again public static, because this is the custom method. It's not a standard method, it's a custom method. Void update workflow status. Okay, so now we will define it under this method ref rec id extended data type rec id and then MB position status. Where is that? Okay, yeah. MB for status is a variable name is status. We can mention status some small letter. Okay, and then we'll open parenthesis. Now we have to update the workflow status in the table, right? We'll call the table, like we'll define it HCM table position. Yeah, got it. So we'll define as a variable. You can define variable like HCM position or just a position. Okay. So now once you define TTS begin, then code will execute what are the codes you mentioned in the bottom below. Okay. Let's say we will query now. We'll query the table, and then we will have the condition. Okay. Then select. We need to query. So when you have first you have to validate the condition. We need to bring the data. Select command for update position, right? For update position, the same thing you need to mention. If it is, it's not a problem, even though for update position, then so mention it class where position where rec id. rec id equal to rec id. Okay, and then position. Now we will compare the next field, position dot mb position workflow status equal to status. To mention the sentence, it will take automatically. We need to mention it properly. Okay, fine. Then update the position. Position dot update the method. Okay, now close it. The command tts commit. It's been slow the system now today. Okay, now we close it. Close parenthesis. Okay, I will save the code. Let me see if you have any error. That's fine. Now we will have the another. What is this? Error is position. Always when I type, it's take some time to reflect in the studio. Okay. Now we have the int value method. Okay, standard method. We'll enter void init value, then open parenthesis. We are checking. What we need to do. Like first, we need to call the parent method as we mentioned for the here in con submit workflow method. What we did is like we call the standard method. So same thing here. Next, because we are not going to return anything here, init value. So here just the we need to enter the code like to update the position when the like new record is added. If it is if any new record is added in the HCM position table, okay, then the workflow status field need to update, right? The status will be like created, and then it will go further on, like created, approval completed. Okay, so we need to it's simple that we will if it is created, right? If it is created where in this table, MB position table, right? Which field status equal to, if it is value is there, if the value is, what is the value if it's created, right? If it is created, MB position, MB position workflow status is created. Okay, created. Then close parenthesis, and then you'll try to save it. Okay, it's been completed now. Now the next thing is we'll go to the solution explorer. Here you can see we have updated the code in the extension of MB position table, and next we need to update in the event handler, okay, and submit manager. Yeah, in other classes also we need to update, because if you want to tell me, ask me about like why we need to do class in this event handler, approval event handler also. Here, this here we need to update the code like workflow based on actions. Like if event handler means actions, right? If it is started, what need to call, cancel, completed. So for that we need to update. Okay, and like of course the submit manager also, it will call the main method to execute if it is when you click submit to manager, all this completed and it will go to submit to manager. The same thing for the approval. So we will update one by one. Now we will go for the event handler. Just double click the event handler, MB position workflow type event handler type. Okay, double click. Okay, here the code has been already there. Okay, so you can see like there are three blank methods which are already created in this class, right? Three blank method, like here, started, cancelled, completed. Okay, so now we need to replace the method. Okay, just we need to replace the method in this one. So what we will do, like for the public void started workflow event or workflow event argument. So what code we need to update is HCM position. Okay, HCM position, update workflow status. Okay, if it is submitted, cancelled, or completed. Okay, now we can enter in this code. Okay, HCM position. Okay, in this table, update workflow status, which we created the custom method. Okay, it will update. What will we'll call it? We'll call the argument, and this, so the public static void update for first. So rec ID or MB process status. So here we will call local variable which we declared above. Okay, dot the workflow context, parameter workflow context. So the parameter workflow context is closed method dot. It's been very slow now. Rec ID comma position status, right? It's already been showing there. So status will be MB, that MB position workflow status. If it is, what is the value? If it is submitted. So this method will call if it is submitted. Close it and close the line. So you can mention this like it will update the workflow status to submitted one, like when it will update the value submitted when the workflow is started, right? When the workflow is started, it will mention that update the status as submitted. We can mention here also for the reference. This code updates the what workflow status, right? What will update to submitted when, like, when once the, once the workflow, when once the, sorry, it's when I'm asking you, once the workflow is started, right? Okay, fine. The next one is the same thing. The same thing if it is for cancelled, right? We can just copy this also command. Okay. Oh, it's become slow. Then click here, enter, paste. So mention here cancelled. Just change the value. Cancelled. Okay, that's great. So same thing. The workflow status for the last one is completed, right? So this is also like the same thing. Once it's completed, the status will update as a completed, right? You can have the same thing here. This code updates the workflow status to what? Completed. Once the workflow is completed. Sorry, cancel. The same scenario, we'll copy and paste it here. And change to completed. I can type it. This code updates the work, workflow status to completed once the workflow is completed. Simple the best. Okay, now save it. Then we need to go for the another class. It's called MB position workflow type submit manager. We'll go to the MB. Yeah, here it is. Now we will have a series of code in the submit uh, manager workflow, because here, let me open it in the element designer. Okay, so here this is the main method where the code will be executed on this class when the position is submitted, the position status is submitted. When it will submit, when the record has been created. When the record is created on that particular table, then the workflow status has been enabled. Okay, then the you can able to submit. You can able to click the submit button. So once we click the submit button in the workflow, this main method will call. So what will happen? It will carry a lot of information. Once you click submit, need to take more information. I will show you in the, let me click start. I hope it will log in now. It's been loaded now. Now we can go to the any workflow. Then I will show you. Let me go to the procurement model. Okay, here we can go for the all purchase requisition. You can see in this purchase requisition there is a workflow is enabled, right? So you see this is the rec ID for the HRM and this is the status. So here we can see the workflow for this entry. So here you can see once the let me hide it. Once the submission is done, record is created, the workflow is initializing. Okay, this is called update workflow method, and this is called can submit workflow. What we done. So it will go for the validation condition. So you can see the what is the action and the type, message, comment. So we need to have all the details when the workflow call the main method. So that means when you submit it, when you click submit, then we have to mention all this uh, variable to in order to show. Okay, so just to name that workflow name, workflow type, command. Okay, so it's in the completion, it's completed already. We can scroll down, we can scroll down and see, yeah, workflow is completed here, right? So this is what we are going to create. So here we'll go to the code section again. So here we will make the void public static void main account. So here we will write the code. Okay, so in this code will execute once the work item is submitted. Okay, write a code to execute once a work item is submitted. Okay, let me begin the code. The code will begin with calling the table HCM position. HCM position position table, and then we'll call that position, then define workflow, workflow correlation ID. It's a data type. For correlation ID, we'll define a variable workflow correlation ID. Okay, then the workflow type. So we'll define the workflow type, workflow type name, and the variable workflow type name equal to. So like what is the workflow type? So here the workflow type is um, the MB position workflow type, what we created before. So mention here workflow type. So we are calling the function workflow type string method inside MB position workflow type close the command. Okay, now the workflow note, I mean workflow comment, workflow comment will be we can say note, and it's like user we need to fill the comment while submitting the workflow. So we'll leave it as empty. So then submit dialog. For that workflow submit dialog data type and variable. So it will open the dialog box, like the workflow submit dialog, workflow submit dialog. Okay, I hope you understand. And then we need to in the dialog we have to run the mention that what kind of argument we are calling to get activate the workflow. So we'll call the method inside the uh, workflow dialog data type. The next one we'll mention workflow dialog workflow submit dialog. Okay, so local variable, mention the local variable equal to. So before you mention the submit dialog data type and the variable, so variable equal to, now we call the method workflow submit dialog. So this is the class we define. Dialog construct. Construct, then so you can see that syntax workflow submit dialog. For this method construct we need to have a argument variable workflow version table workflow, right? So for that you can call argument dot caller, call the object. The object is get active workflow configuration. Okay, then run the dialog box. Okay, workflow submit dialog dot run. Now the condition, we have the if condition. If the workflow submit dialog it's closed, okay, then we'll input the command. We'll get the command. If workflow submit dialog dot parameters is closed, okay, object, then so we need to have one more parenthesis bracket, then open parenthesis position position local variable equal to, so the argument which we passed record. So this will get the command, the next one it will get the command from the uh, commands dialog box, the field commands field, text field. You can mention here this below one will get the commands from the submit workflow dialog box. Submit to workflow workflow dialog. Okay, so now node equal to workflow submit dialog dot command, the object, the predefined object. If there is error, we will try to catch the we'll use the syntax try and catch method here. Okay, try transaction begins. So from here is activating the workflow. Okay, this is activating the below one will activate the workflow for your reference. Now we'll have the variable workflow correlation id local variable, okay, equal to workflow workflow class activate form workflow type. We need to activate it, flow type, workflow type. So what we'll have inside, so this is the like activate workflow type method. We'll have a variable workflow type name, then rec id, command, everything. So we should have mentioned all the variable here. We'll mention that underscore workflow type name. Okay, this is the variable, and then position dot another variable rec id, then comment, it's called note, right? And then no s as per the syntax. It's not typing. No s equal to no, then close it. Now the position MB status need to update the value position dot MB position status equal to MB position workflow status equal to what? Equal to submitter. Submitter. Okay. Then update the position dot update method. Then finish the transaction. TTS commit. Okay. Now we need to send the message. Like we'll inform the in the submitted to workflow that it has been done. So it will include the workflow here. The below one, it will send the message, info log message, like info submitted to workflows, just to the user end user. It will reflect in the workflow, so it will tell that it's submitted to workflow, the status, not the status, like the message. Okay, close parenthesis. Now the catch try is finished. Now catch exception error in parenthesis error, like if there's any error on workflow activation, error on workflow activation. Okay, close parenthesis, then again close. Now we'll do the argument caller, then update the workflow control. Update workflow controls. Then close parenthesis. That's it. Save the code. Let me see if we have any error. We found one error. Where it is? We have double. Okay. Now the error has been cleared. It's because of the extra parenthesis. Now we will see what we have been done so far. We will open the notepad, and here in this working with the code, we updated the class, right? Which one we updated? MB position table extension. And then second, here we have the code. Okay, then second one is the event handler, right? MB position, I think workflow type event handler. Okay, and the third one is, I think, submit manager. Let me refer back. Solution explorer. Yes, MB position workflow submit manager. So MB position flow type submit manager, right? And the fourth one, MB position, you can see approval event handler. Okay, so now we need to have the last one, MB position flow approval event handler. Here the business logic will happen. Okay, like starter, rejected, approved, all this will be in the approval event handler. Okay, now we will see how we can code this one. We will open this approval event handler, double click. Okay, so it's been open. The already the template is there. Just we need to amend the template, add the code. Like, see, you can see that there is a already been that code is there: started, cancelled, completed, denied, and then change requested, return, created. Okay, this all um, business logic approval actions. We will amend it now. Okay, now the first thing is we'll go there top. Okay, so here we will have the first one is a starting. So if this, we need to mention that if the workflow has been submitted, started means submitted, right? Okay, we'll add it down below. HCM position table position. Okay, then update the workflow status, right? So what is the workflow status? We have already mentioned the variable. Oh, it's not showing. Okay, yeah. So you can check that update workflow status, the custom method what we created before, right? Reference requiry, right? Okay, workflow local variable. Okay, dot workflow context. Something happening. Okay, parameters. I will type it again. Workflow context dot parameter rec id method, and then comma MB position workflow status is submitted, right? Oh, not this one. Status. MB position workflow status just is submitted, right? Okay. Now we'll close the bracket, close the line. The same thing, the same manner, we will update the cancel. Okay, we'll update the cancel only. We'll change it the value only for the MB status, MB position status cancel, approved, rejected, requested so far. Okay, we'll just copy the same code. Just copy the same code. We can drag it. Okay, enter. And it is cancelled, automatically changed. Oh, not this one. It should be element, right? Not this one. Yeah. Even not this one. Should be element. I don't know why it's pasting a different value. You can have it enter element. Okay. Remaining, I think everything. Okay. We need to make it as a cancelled. Okay. Then try to save it. So completed, it's called approved. Completed, it's called approved. Enter. Cannot refer it back. Okay. Let's hope this is the one. No. I don't know why it's not bringing that element, and it should be approved. there is a power issue happen. Okay, and then this one should be approved. So I just have an issue with the system. We'll update as a approved, and then the same thing we will update for denied. It's called rejected. We'll paste, and here changed as an element because it's not appearing while we copy paste. And in the end, delete and update as rejected. Rejected. Okay, and then change request. So for change request, we'll see what is the value. Change as an element. Okay, and then the value will be requested. Should be there. It's not there. We have not created change request. And then finally, like we will return the code. We will leave this a blank. This also. We'll try to save it if anything error. Yeah, because we have not declared this one. I think we have not created the workflow status. We will see. We'll open the solution explorer. Double click the base enum. Oh, we have not created the requested. Okay, then we can remove it. Okay, wait, remove. We'll see. What is the other issue? Just we have rectified the error. What we have done, the error for rectifying, it's like we have not created the rejected enum, base enum. So what we done in the solution explorer and the base enum element, you double click and then create a new base enum. Then you can call it in the class code. Okay. Now it's time to save all and build. Let's see. Right click on the project and click build. We'll see if there's any error is showing after the build. Then we need to verify it. Still going on. build step best practice checkup completed. We'll see. Still the status showing here in the bottom of the screen. Status. I think it's completed. Yeah, build is completed. Database access is completed. Okay. Now we can go to our portal. Here, open the FNO. I hope it's not timeout. We'll see. Sometimes the system will be slow. We need to have more patience because I'm running the virtual machine.